What happened here? Looks like she has a neurological disorder called narcolepsy. What's that?
Narcolepsy is a chronic sleep disorder in which a person often falls asleep sporadically for short amounts of time. Commonly, a sleep cycle has a duration of approximately 100 to 110 minutes long, in which they are in a non-rapid eye movement stage of sleep for about 90 minutes. Then, they transition to the rapid eye movement stage. Typically, the brain contains cells that direct a chemical called hypocretin to be released and control the sleep cycle. Those diagnosed with narcolepsy, however, lack hypocretin in their spinal fluid because their immune system mistakenly attacks these important hypocretin-releasing brain cells. Therefore, a person with narcolepsy falls directly into the rapid eye movement stage of sleep that only lasts for about 20 minutes because they are lacking this correct chemical to control non-rapid eye movement sleep. This results in shorter sleeping periods and the inability to obtain proper amounts of sleep during the nighttime. Additionally, tumor and disease growth as well as injury to parts of the brain containing hypocretin can lead to narcolepsy. One symptom of narcolepsy is cataplactic attacks, in which a fully conscious patient loses voluntary muscle control. This happens because in a normal sleep pattern, a group of neurons in the brain stem halts body movement during rapid eye movement sleep, but stops it too early in a narcoleptic patient. They become unable to move, speak, or keep their eyes open. Other symptoms that can occur due to this neurological misdirection include hallucinations, sleep paralysis, obesity, and disrupted nighttime sleep. Narcolepsy can be very dangerous because people can fall asleep while doing any activity, including potentially harmful ones such as exercising or driving. Scientists are working to treat the disease, but must learn more about the relationship between the nervous system and immune systems in order to do so.
Oh, thanks for the information. My cousin has this condition where he stops breathing for short periods of time while he's sleeping. What's that called?
Sleep apnea!
There are two types of sleep apnea, obstructive and central. In obstructive sleep apnea, the trachea of the respiratory system collapses and blocks airways to the lungs. This cuts off the flow of oxygen to the body, so the brain sends signals to wake the body up and regain oxygen. Because of this, people with obstructive sleep apnea are often sleep deprived and tired throughout the day. In central sleep apnea, the brain forgets to send signals to your respiratory system while the body is resting, and therefore breathing will not occur for short amounts of time. Eventually, the brain will wake up the body to regain oxygen flow as it does with the obstructive sleep apnea. This disorder is difficult to treat, but a solution is possible. Patients may need to change their lifestyle to release pressure on the trachea, or may need to use a machine to keep their windpipe open rather than allowing their brain to try and do the job for them. The brain is valuable to all of our organ systems because it works hard to control each system and in turn keep us alive and well. But when a person develops sleep apnea, the malfunction of the brain can be very, very harmful to the rest of the body. Personality changes, high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, headaches, and a decline in mental functioning are simply a few of the common effects sleep apnea can have on the entire body. It can also lead to death by loss of oxygen or by careless mistakes due to lack of sleep. Technology and education is not yet advanced enough to understand all of the complicated mechanics of the brain, but scientists are learning more every day and are coming closer to discovering ways to prevent this dangerous disorder.
Well, how can I get a good night's sleep?
Getting a good night's sleep is essential in order to maintain a healthy lifestyle. There are many things that you are able to do in order to sleep well, but what most people don't know is that caffeine affects us more than we think. Over 83% of Americans drink coffee. Caffeine takes effect within minutes as it blocks chemical signals to the brain, stopping you from feeling sleepy. When it enters the body, it's broken down into 3 different molecules. The first is theobromine. Theobromine increases flow of oxygen and nutrients to the brain. The second is paraxanthine. Paraxanthine increases the athletic performance by increasing the rate of fat breakdown. The third is theophylline, which increases heart rate and the ability to concentrate. Caffeine reacts with adenosine receptors, blocking adenosine from doing its job. It slows down nerve activity in the brain, which causes us to sleep, and regulates neurotransmitters like dopamine. Adenosine has similar structure like caffeine and binds easily to adenosine protein receptors. When connected, caffeine increases activity in neurotransmitters like dopamine, and this causes high brain activity. The three metabolites affect the brain and produce a state of wakefulness.